What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. One of those days, so many things to do. I have a flight to catch, but I'm still stuck here. It's just crazy. But, we need to talk to one another. So we have to do this. Thank you very much again. I see you following us from all over the place. South Africa. We are very grateful. Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda, Uganda, Malawi. Thank you very much. Jamaica, Wagwan, mi boss. I see you. Okay, Great Britain. Okay, we are again at it. Let me ask you a question. What's a brother to you? Okay, who's a brother to you? Is a brother somebody that looks just like you? Okay, speaks a little bit like you? Or is a brother someone who fights your fight with you? Is a brother for you a person you share a passport? You have the same passport. You come from the same country. Somebody that looks like you, same color, same accent. Or is a brother who ever fight next to you? I want to know how you feel about this. I think this is very interesting because many people believe your brother is somebody that shares a passport, or somebody from your country that's your brother, or somebody from your province that is probably your brother, or somebody that looks like you. Or is your brother a person that fights next to you, fight for you, a person that's always going to be there, always going to show up for you? Who is your brother? Okay, let's not get confused. I think this is very interesting. So now, fellas, we all know about Mali. Here is a map. Mali is a beautiful place in Africa. I'm sure we've spoken about this many, many times. We've spoken about Mali, about Burkina Faso and Niger, because it's very interesting. These three countries are doing some tremendous things, never seen in the past by African nations. Yes, I can say that again. So, very lately, I know a few days ago, Mali recaptured a town named Kidal. Okay, Mali's been at war for the longest time. Mali is a country that was colonized by the French people. Mali was going through a very difficult time because the northern part of the country was locked in by terrorists. These people were trying to claim this part, saying they want to cut it off and make it another country. But Malian people refused to accept that. Now, for many years, Malians brought in French people to come and fight that fight, to fight terrorists, because, you expect France to be a very strong army, right? They say they're number 4 in the world. So they should have no difficulty to come and throw these people out, right? But France has been there for 10 years and over. They've been unable to dislodge these terrorists. A few days ago, we made a video telling you that finally, after Mali asked French soldiers to leave their country, Malian soldiers, next to Russian Wagners and some Nigerians and Burkinabe, kicked out these terrorists from this town, Kidal. Congratulations again. Let's go at it. Congratulations again to Malians. So after 10 years of France failing to kick out terrorists in this part of Mali, Malians with Burkinabe and Nigerian went in with the Wagners and they kicked these people out. That's my question again. Are your brothers people that just look like you? Or your brothers the people that are ready to go to war with you? I think those are your real brothers. That's my attitude towards. I think your brother really is somebody that comes next to you, fight your fight for you. Your brother is a person that's ready to defend you. Even when the world turns their back on you, your brother will always be there. I don't think your brothers are people you're necessarily born with from the same mother. Sometimes in life, you meet your brothers. Yes, while struggling, while going through hardships of life. That is when you met your real people, your real brothers. That's how I believe it. Your brother can be somebody from a totally different country, from a total different place. I remember many years ago, I used to go through a very difficult time. Some of my brothers were people from different nations, different countries. These are the people that struggle with me. I'll never forget. And never I will choose anybody else above them because they were there for me. Okay, so let's go at it again. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have come together to kick out terrorists that have been lingering in the north part of Mali for the past 10 years. Many people believe French people were sponsoring these terrorists. Okay, they were unofficially sponsoring the terrorists with the goal of looting gold in the northern part of Mali. But saying, in the meantime, saying, okay, we're fighting terrorists. We here, you know what I mean? But the reality was, some people believe French people were sponsoring terrorists. Now, what has happened? Clearly, you can see Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are working together. Now, they've expanded their cooperation beyond military. They say the success in Kidal, the result of the close collaboration in battle and other operations, symbolize a commitment of the three nations to work together against regional security threat. So they're working together against security threat that would emerge against any of the country. The finance ministers of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger are now considering a creation of an economic monetary union. You heard that right. Congratulations. This proposal, emerging during the strategic meeting in Bamako, aims to accelerate economic and financial integration and a crucial change for future of the allies. So here we're seeing a tendency that's very clear. These three countries are trying to work together, not just militarily, but now economically. Why? Because in the region, all other nations, yes, African nations, are fighting against them. They don't like them. So we're seeing here, fellas, let me give you context. 3 African nations fighting very hard for their freedom. They've kicked out the French. Yes. How have they kicked out the French? French people colonized them for many, many years. In the 1960s, the French people say, okay, enough, we're leaving you, you're going to be free. You're going to have your independence. All of these countries had independence. However, these countries were still controlled by France. How? France printed the currency of these countries. So all our Francophone African countries colonized by French uses the CFA franc. The CFA franc is a currency printed in France, used by Africans for the interest of the French people. And every year, okay, each country has to pay a tax to the French people for nothing. Just because they came to Africa and taught them how to speak French and dance with accordion. Yeah. And so at the end of the year, you have to pay tax back to France every single year up until now, 2023. Now, these 3 countries have decided enough is enough. Why? Because by the time Mali wanted its freedom in 2020, when they stood up and said enough is enough, all of these countries called ECOWAS, these are West African countries, all of these countries barricaded, they blocked Mali. They refused to let food pass. They refused to let medicine pass. They refused to let any transaction, economical transaction, to pass through Mali. Their goal was to starve the people of Mali and hoping the people of Mali, the civilians, will stand up and fight their own government. But they failed drastically. So because Malians have experienced that and they were using CFA franc, because they've experienced that in the past, the best way to try avoid that from reoccurring is what? Creating your own monetary fund, creating your own currency. So now these 3 countries are coming together. They say, okay, now we are ready. We are creating our own currency, our own African currency, away from the French, away from the control of ECOWAS. So their ministers, finance ministers, have come together, looking to work on this proposal emerging during the strategic meeting in Bamako to accelerate economic and financial integration of these countries. So they're going to come together as one. Improving transport and communication infrastructure is also high on the reunion agenda. Improving transport, communication infrastructure is also high. Why? Because it's very important. Fellas, let me put it this way for you. Many African countries, unfortunately, in terms of infrastructure, talking about roads, are very poor, okay? Many other things are very poor. Why? Because the difference between many African countries compared to South Africa, for instance, is, I've said it before, I'll say it again. In many African countries, when Europeans came, they came to steal, okay? They came looking for ports to mine. So the nicest roads you will find in many African countries are the roads built from mining to port. What does that mean? Mining, stealing stuff from mining, taking gold, taking diamond, taking whatever, to the port of exit. Okay, so the difference with South Africa is South Africa has great infrastructure because white people who came to Africa in South Africa did not come to steal. They came to stay. So they built the best of everything they could have built for themselves. The goal was building for themselves. They were not building for the Africans because they never expected that things would change in the future. That's the difference. Now Africans are fighting, they are scrambling, they are racing to try catch back, to try, get things done, build roads, build infrastructure. And that's for say is only for African presidents that are really working for African people. Now, these three countries are looking to improve that. They want to improve communication, improve infrastructure, improve money, make sure the economies are working together so they can be strong. Again, fellas, I think we are seeing exactly what this is. I'm going to get back to my question, my initial question. Who is your real brother? Okay. Your real brother, is he another black person? Or your real brother, somebody you were born in the same nation, same country, same province? Or your real brother is somebody who's ready to fight with you, fight for you, fight next to you, defend you? Who is your real brother? Tell me. I think I know who my real brothers are. Your real brother can only be that person that will be there when you're struggling. Your real brothers are only the people that will go visit your children. Let's say you get incarcerated for the wrong reason. You're thrown in jail and nobody can assist. Your real brothers will go assist your family while you're not there. Your real brothers will go to jail looking for you while everybody else is move on with their life. Your real brother will come to the hospital even if it's far. Those are your real brothers. And those people are not necessarily people you are born with, people from your neighborhood or people from your country. Sometimes, if you're open-minded enough, you meet some of the best people throughout life. And I think Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger now understand who their real brothers are. They all used to be together as a ECOWAS, right? 15 countries calling each other brothers. That's what African people do. Oh, my brother, my brother, my brother. But what is hidden beyond my brother? I hate, you know what? I don't even like how people call me my brother anymore. I don't allow just random people to call me my brother anymore. It's sad, but that's the reality. Because sometimes the most evil people towards you call you my brother. They call you my brother while plotting against you. Can you imagine 3 African countries trying to free themselves from the burden of slavery, okay, from colonialism, and other African countries block them entries? Other African nations stop food from going to their nation? Other African countries refuse to let medicine go through? Can you just imagine that? That's about Mali. Remember Niger. Niger trying to free itself too. What happened? African countries coming together, gathering military forces so they can go attack a country that's trying to free itself. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's about time that this grows, okay? Whatever happening between Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger grows. Why? Because ECOWAS, unfortunately, who sponsors ECOWAS? ECOWAS is supposed to be a group of African countries working together. But who are the sponsors? Unfortunately, some of the sponsors are Europeans. Now, how can a European body sponsor an African body without having a say? It doesn't make sense. Africans should be able to be free. Now, in order for you to be free, you must be free monetarily too. You must be free financially. You should be able to sponsor your own things. Once you're getting sponsorship from other places, you don't have a voice anymore. You are not free anymore. Now, these 3 countries are going to be free because they're making their own choices for their own future. Now, let me finish by saying this. The reason why they don't like these countries, it's because these countries are ready to work for the people of Africa, not for international companies or any other big nations in the world. Thank you very much, fellas. Let me know how you feel about this. Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali coming together now as a team, not only militarily, but also economically. They want to create a currency that's going to enable them to be strong so that nobody can sanction them like they used to in the past. God bless.